Competition and Monopoly by Blake, Phoebe and Samiha.
Many think Facebook's tolerance for disinformation and its invasion of privacy are similarly sinister, but Facebook proceeds unchallenged.
The U.S. government allowed them to buy their two main competitors, Instagram and WhatsApp. So there's been no real competition in social networking for the last 6 years. And so I think they felt in some ways above the law, above competition.
But what about Google?
Yeah, so Google has proven itself willing to destroy all of its competitors over the last 10 years or so.
Waze, the #1 real-time navigation app.
Waze was this promising Israeli company that could have been a platform for other competitors, and they just bought them. Online maps. It's important to commerce, because that's where people often start. Google has extinguished many industries that might possibly compete with it vertically by giving its own products a preference right when you search.
And Amazon?
What I'm concerned about with Amazon is the fact that they have become the only real place online where you can sell things.
But it's just amazing what Amazon does, right?
There's good Amazon, there's bad Amazon. The good Amazon, in my view, is the one that has made it easier to get a lot of products relatively easily. But maybe you invent a better mousetrap. They make the Amazon version, and then they own that market.
But they're super convenient, right?
In our times, the path towards a dangerous fate is paved with convenience. And it's taken us closer to this structure that we had in the Gilded Age, where you had one great monopoly per industry.
Or industries dominated by just a few firms, not monopolies, but oligopolies that still control price and service.
People may like Amazon and Google, but ask people how they feel about the airlines, ask people how they feel about their cable company, ask people how they feel about pharmaceutical bills. These are areas where competition has shrunk. We're left with just a few choices.
The classic argument.
Hello everyone, my name is Samiha, and together with my team members Phoebe and Blake, we will be analysing the tech industry in relation to monopoly and why tech industry monopolies, specifically Facebook, Google and Amazon, could be a curse for society. For the purposes of regulation, monopoly power exists when a single organisation has control of 25% or more of a certain market. Facebook has more than 2 billion users a month. Google processes more than 90% of web searches, and Amazon captures over 40% of online users in the USA alone. So how did they become monopolies? Facebook remains unchallenged due to the US government allowing them to buy their two main competitors, Instagram and WhatsApp. So no real competition in social networking has occurred. Google has destroyed all its competitors over the past 10 years. For example, Waze was the #1 real-time navigation app, and of course Google couldn't have that and bought them. Amazon, the only real place online where things can be sold, was unavailable in the Middle East. Hence, a Middle Eastern online shopping experience came into the picture called Souk.com, which was nicknamed the Amazon of the Middle East. Of course, Amazon was not willing to allow that and also bought it to dominate the Middle Eastern market. So what is the government's role in all of this? Neglection of antitrust enforcement and leaving citizens with an economy governed by de facto monopolists. So what does this monopoly mean? The resulting lack of competition due to the digital economy turning into a monopoly can potentially obstruct innovation and organizational growth and aggravate unfairness in labor markets. Firms like Amazon, for example, can strong-arm taxation systems and recruit the best and brightest talent to work on tasks that are crucial to its business. But that does not help to solve more pressing societal problems. What are its risks to the population? The risks associated with digital monopolies is huge. They control much of our attention, rule what content we are exposed to, and they use targeted advertising to influence our behaviors and choices. We, the users, are faced with a choice. We either agree to the terms set up by digital platforms or cannot use their services at all. The data has become the new gold, and the attention, the main commodity traded in the digital economy. According to the interview made with Tim Wu in the video, monopolies do not only cause damage through high prices. #1, the industry tends to stagnate. A monopoly does not need to improve or innovate its products and services. Tim Wu mentions that venture capitalists in Silicon Valley say, if you go anywhere near Facebook or anywhere near Google, you're finished. That's the kill zone. #2, outside political influence. The more stronger an industry and extreme the monopoly is, the more easily it can influence the government to get what it wants. Number 3, economic inequality. When an industry is condensed to 3 or 4 firms, the shift is towards wage stagnations and higher profits for executives, certain professionals, and shareholders, while the rest of the population makes less.
In terms of Facebook and Google, it is almost impossible to represent these monopolies as monopolistic diagrams, as both firms do not sell or charge their customers for the use of their services. Both firms generate income by selling data and advertising. Facebook and Google do calculate an ARPU, which is an average revenue per user. For Facebook, as of Q4 2018, this figure was $7.37 as a worldwide average and $34.86 for US customers. For Google, this figure was $6.70 worldwide for Q4 2016. For our monopolistic diagram, we have chosen to represent Amazon Prime. This service is available in the US and other countries and offers customers other services including streaming, deals, and free shipping. In the US, there are 95 million users per annum, and they are all charged $119 per annum for use of the service. For our monopolistic diagram of Amazon Prime services, you can see that the downward sloping or inelastic demand curve shows that the firm has pricing power in the market. Where marginal revenue and marginal cost meet, or the red dot, this is Q1, or the quantity demanded, which as of 2018 is 95 million US users per annum. Where demand meets Q1 is the price, which is currently sitting at $119 per annum, which can also be charged monthly. The difference between average total cost and price is the profit or supernormal profit of Amazon Prime.
Hi, my name is Blake. When seeking to interrupt a tech monopoly, the situation is further complicated. Tech companies differ from others in that their biggest asset is data and their popularity is based on ease of use. For this reason, restrictions on profit margins and controls on price leave them unaffected, and even if Facebook was broken up, the likely event would be that multiple social media platforms are created and consumers gravitate to whichever offered the best user experience, simply delaying monopolization in this area. Though splitting the company is not an option in this case, government can play a big part in this, and 2 courses of action include evening the competition. There should be greater research prior to the approval of mergers, and a greater level of critical thinking placed to determine whether a merger is proposed in order to attempt to remove a threat of competition. This could have prevented Facebook's acquisition of Instagram and Google's of Waze. Data regulation. The way that governments consider business operations is sometimes outdated and focus primarily on profit, not information. Government could develop a new set of rules pertaining to ownership and exchange of data to empower users to request their information be distributed to industry providers, which could enable a more rounded targeting advertising, or force firms to make anonymized bulk data available to competitors, which has a potential to change data from something that is hidden and protected to something that is more openly considered and can lead to greater and faster innovation. As a result, users would find it easier to switch between services, competitors would be on similar levels, and there is no longer monopoly. Other options could be to limit the quantity and type of data able to be collected, or to require greater transparency regarding the use of this data through public reporting or regular auditing. Given that the popularity of these companies is driven primarily through consumer use, this aspect can be better controlled by the online community. This can be done through updating your privacy settings and restricting data access and usage, monitoring online behavior such as installing apps that track phone usage, creating barriers for yourself and others through parental features, responsible consumption of information through fact-checking concerning monopolized companies. Another option could be to do nothing at all. Though monopolies usually mean inflated price structures and rigidity, in the technology field, they can actually have a lot of positive impacts. In fact, some research states that monopoly is required in the tech field to create efficiency and progression. This is because these companies can take greater risks, monitor and absorb consequences, and make changes, thus speeding innovation. If Facebook, Google, or Amazon were forced to release their intellectual property, or if their respective fields were more even, it may be the case that we see development slow, decisions become safer, and overall product quality stagnate or decline. Thank you for viewing our presentation. We hope you enjoyed.